why don't you kick things off and let everyone know who our top streaming quarterback is, because it doesn't feel good. It does not feel good at all.
By the way, JJ, I believe this is our 11th season on Living the Stream. So
that's wild. Yeah, that's
over a decade. Derek Carr is a guy. We're going to go back to him against the Colts. This game has a whopping 43.5 point total, 8th highest of the week. We have that going for us. Look, I mean, I do think that the scoring environment here is somewhat appealing. The Colts opponents this season average almost 71 plays per game, offensive plays per game. That's the highest in the league by a pretty decent margin. The Colts are middle of the road in most pass defense metrics, and the Colts are 26th in pressure rate. And Derek Carr needs that clean pocket in order to actually do some stuff. We could have some regression too. Hey, look, Derek Carr dropped back 59 times and scored 16 fantasy points last week. So let's get that going. The Colts are not a great matchup, but you could do worse.
Yeah, I think you can do worse. I think environment wise, it's not a horrible environment for Carr. It's at least like a dome game and such.
I'm starting Carr in one league. I will say that.
Me too. It's a dead league. It's one of those dead Yahoo leagues that I was talking about. But yeah, I'm still going with him. So we have like 3 secondary quarterbacks I'm just going to get to very quickly. One of them is Jimmy Garoppolo. They're playing Detroit. Detroit's faced the second highest neutral script pass rate this season. Teams are throwing the ball against them a lot more than running it. That's because their pass defense is below average. Rush defense is above average. That's resulted in them being the 11th best matchup for quarterbacks. They're the 3rd worst for running backs. I don't feel great though about Jimmy Garoppolo because it's Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, like, are we, like you're praying for 13, 14 fantasy points, I think, from a play like that. There's also Gardner Minshew in that same game against Derek Carr. You mentioned a lot of how the Colts are playing offensively. So that's good. Really, this comes down to the Colts have a solid 22-point team total, and the Saints have been an average matchup in adjusted fantasy points allowed. And then the last one, who I think might be, the more that I research, the more that I think about this, he might be the more intriguing, like, secondary option on this list, and that's Baker Mayfield. And I say that, they're playing Buffalo. Buffalo's the 3rd worst matchup in adjusted fantasy points allowed. It looks bad on paper. So they have like an 18.5 implied team total. So people are probably like, why would we play Derek Carr? Well, number one, the Bucs offense is going to have to keep up with Josh Allen in the Bills offense. So there could be more of a pass heavy script for them. But then number 2, and that could lead to more rushing too from Baker, which we've seen at times this year. He had that really long scramble last week. And then number 2, those numbers are a little bit skewed based on what happened earlier in the season. Buffalo is banged up in their defense, like very, very key pieces being out, like Matt Milano and Trey White's out. And so that could lead to, better production. We saw that last week. Mac Jones finished as the top 10 quarterback in fantasy. So the more that I'm thinking about this, the more I might lean Baker as like the deep play as QB2 for our streamers this week.
Quietly, Tampa has turned pass heavy because they have no running game. The Bucs are 11% over their expected drop back rate in back-to-back weeks. JJ, back-to-back. Yeah. Okay, we have a full-on pass heavy scheme in Tampa.